last night in lab, I was trying to get this effect to work, and this morning, after a good night's sleep, I thought it through, and I have it working now. So I'm going to go through it step by step. What we were able to do last night was use a Luma reveal so that the film burn took away the logo. But I wasn't happy with that. I wanted the burn to also distress and displace the logo. So I'm going to scrub through this a little bit slower. And right here, you can see the distortion happening as well as the logo going away. So I got them both working. Here is that workflow. So first I picked the clip and I dragged it to the new composition button, which created a new composition that perfectly matched. So this is the same frame rate, it's the same duration, it's the same aspect ratio. That's what happens when you get a video clip and you drag it right down there and it'll just perfectly match. And there you go. That was step one. So I made a main animation to put all my layers into. And my fire, the film burn, I just called film burn. I was able to duplicate the effect in the timeline, and I'll explain why, because I did not alter the original clip. We're gonna go through this layer by layer. The first film burn that's happening right here, I have the opacity fading on. It's going from 0 to 100 because I wanted this color to gradually come on. It was too harsh, just instantly popping on, okay? So that was the first step. Well, actually, the first step was taking away the green screen. So in my effects panels, I typed in key light, dragged key light onto the clip, like such. I'll hit Command Z to undo. And let me hide the effect there. I'll just do it from scratch. Let me hit reset. So the effect originally was shot on a green screen. You just grab the eyedropper, click right there, and you're good. Now, clicking here will show or hide the alpha. I'm going to change it from final result to screen matte just to take a look. I'm going to refine this just a little bit, just for my own interest here. It's right here. I'm going to clamp in a little bit on the black. That's under screen matte. We're going to be covering mattes. We're going to be covering green screen removal in a few weeks, but I'm just tightening this up. Pure white and pure black will give me a cleaner green screen. That was under screen matte. That's how I tightened it up, kind of like in Photoshop. So there's my transparency. That's how I turn that back off. So I know this is working now. So if I click here, you can see there's transparency. I originally have my logo text right here. And what I want is, as this film burns, let me drop my resolution so we can go faster. I want that to start hiding the text. I'm going to turn off my displacement map. We're going to get to that. So here it comes, and I want this to start hiding as it goes along. So what I did for that was I used an alpha matte. Now remember, when you're doing mattes, the matte goes on top, like a Halloween mask goes over your face. So here is my film burn right here, where I took the green screen out, and there's transparency. So that's what's going to help with my alpha matte. This is the alpha transparency there. Hide that. So my layer below, I choose alpha matte, and we can see the logo, and then now we can't see it because of this negative space. We're only seeing the logo where there's positive space. Right there. So that's the first step. I want the logo untouched, so I duplicated my logo layer. That's right here. Command D duplicates the layer. I'm going to set that to no track matte on the bottom. Actually, you know what? Let's set it to an alpha matte. So when the other one moves, it moves with it. Okay, so here's our clean logo. Then in comes the film burn, and the logo is now gone. That's because of the alpha matte right here. The negative space will hide the image. The positive space reveals it. So that's why we're seeing the logo go away as the film burn happens. So I took this film burn and I duplicated it, Command D, in my timeline. When I duplicated this one, it's right here. Without this, we're not going to see the film burn. That's why I had to duplicate it. So the first duplicate shows the actual film burn. Without that duplicate, we're not going to see it. That's why it's there. So this film burn is what we're seeing. The one below it, the original copy, is what we're using as the alpha matte to make the logo go away. That's how that's working. Okay? This is my alpha matte. This is the duplicate that actually shows the film burn happening, right? I could put it below the text if I wanted, or above the text. Either way, I'm actually kind of liking it below the text now that I'm looking at it. All right, that's that. This is my alpha matte. I duplicated it. This is what we're seeing because when we use it as an alpha matte, it's not visible. So that duplicate makes it visible, while this one right here is our alpha matte. I duplicated it one more time. Behind this. First thing I did was I threw the hue saturation effect. Just by typing hue saturation, threw it on top of the pre-comp. I desaturated it. Here's why. Grayscale, displacement maps. We talked a little bit about this, but basically, white will push an image 100% one way, black will push an image 100% the opposite way, and the tonal value in between will cause levels of displacement. The text moving around, which is what I've got happening right here as it animates off. So I'm going to hide this. That's our grayscale version that we're using as our displacement map by making a grayscale. Here's our logo right here. There it is, distressing. Let me hide the film. Show that top film again. So this one I have hidden because of the alpha matte. This one below is the duplicate that shows it, and this is the grayscale copy. So you can see the logo distorting as the film burns. That's because of this grayscale displacement map on top. I did curves to adjust the amount of grayscale displacement that's happening. I'm actually going to undo that curves. We don't need that. I'm liking where we're sitting right now. Okay, so this is our text that's not distorted, and this is our text that is getting displaced. U to show my keyframes. Let's move these down a little bit more. And this is just me animating the displacement. So I turned off that one from the duplicate. We don't need that. That's not needed. This is just the clean text right there. Nothing's happening. Here's the one that's going to get displaced. And that's where I've got my displacement happening. Now we've got a clean displacement going on. So you can choose whatever amount. These are my previous and next keyframes. You can choose whatever amount of displacement you want to have happen, horizontally or vertically. And I did a little bit of horizontal and vertical. Let's drag that out a little further. There we go. Drag it out even a little bit more. Make it a little bit more subtle. I could also lower these values. We'll do half of that. Take a look at it now. See, that was too... I decreased it too much. So I can just adjust these. Let's try minus 300 and minus 30. I'm doing more on the horizontal because the distortion is coming horizontally from the film burn. Like that's looking better. I'm going to undo those values. Take a look at the top one again. I want that big distortion on the... Let's crank that up. See? That's helping it. So that's how I got the film burn to use as a displacement map. Again, here's my original film burn. I put... Actually, is this the original? No. Yeah, here's the original. Put a key light to remove the green screen. Like that. So since this has alpha now, I put it above my text and used it as an alpha mat right here in my track maps. These are my mats, these are my modes, these are my modes, these are my switches. So here is my here's my green screen that I'm using as my alpha mat over the text. I duplicated it because if I don't have a duplicate, you're not going to see the actual film burn. So this first duplicate shows the actual film burn happening. And this one's being used as an alpha mat to hide the text as it burns off. I duplicated it a third time, put a hue saturation to desaturate it so I can use this as a displacement map. I hid that layer because you don't need to see it, and I put the displacement map effect on my main logo here. And I just keyframe animated it from 0 to whatever amount I wanted over time. So that's using a film effect as an alpha mat and then making it grayscale to use as a displacement map to tie the whole thought together in a professional workflow.